Foster's, it's frozen.
Frozen Food Month is back, and we're giving away 4 $250 Foster's cards. To enter, just purchase any 3 products from the frozen department from now until March 27th. It's that easy.
You could grab a frozen pizza for dinner, frozen berries for a morning smoothie, and frozen plant-based sausages for something different.
Exactly. Just don't forget to enter online at fosters.ky/Frozen Food Month. Foster's, better because we care.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us for the 9th of 19 candidates forums for the 2021 general election in the Cayman Islands, being hosted by the Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce in association with Foster's. My name is Will Pinot, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the Chamber. I'll serve as panelist and moderator for this evening's forum. I'd like to thank Cayman Brac East candidate Elvis McKeever and thank him for accepting the Chamber's invitation to participate in this forum. Fellow candidate Juliana O'Connor-Conley declined our invitation due to another conflicting commitment. Mr. McKeever, your willingness to appear on the forum this evening demonstrates to voters that you take the democratic process seriously and are ready to respond to a series of questions on the top issues as identified by a recent online Chamber survey. More than 400 responses and more than 200 questions have been submitted via the survey, and these will help to frame the questions for this evening's forum. When the Chamber was established in 1965, the goal was to create an organization that supports, promotes, and protects the interests and welfare of its members and the wider community. Being nonpartisan, we have hosted forums every election year since 1998 election. For 9 elections, we have provided members of the community with an opportunity to hear from their candidates and educate themselves before Election Day. These forums have taken weeks of planning and preparation and would not have been possible without the financial support of our sponsors, Foster's, Affinity Recruitment, Boden's Legal and Corporate, and DART. So big thank you to each of them. I'd also like to extend a wholehearted thanks to our media partners, Cayman Marl Road, Cayman Life TV, Radio Cayman, Government Information Services, and ICCI-FM for agreeing to broadcast tonight's forum. It is the first time that we have live-streamed the forums on the internet, and we hope that this new format will enable more people to watch them in the comfort of your home. It is now time to begin this evening's forum, and I'll explain the rules and introduce Mr. McKeever. The rules for tonight's forum are as follows. Mr. McKeever, you'll be asked a series of questions. You'll have 2 minutes to answer each question if you choose to do so. And at the conclusion of the forum, you'll be allowed 2.5 minutes to deliver your closing remarks. And now I'd like to provide some background about Mr. Elvis McKeever. Elvis Jeffery McKeever is a Cuban and Cayman Brac descendant. He was 62 years old on his last birthday. Mr. McKeever grew up in Grand Cayman, but as a young man, migrated to live with his family in Cayman Brac. He is married and has 3 daughters. Mr. McKeever was a pioneer in the music industry as the lead drummer for the Regeneration Band. This experience has helped shape his platform that advocates for music and arts exposure for the youth. Mr. McKeever is an entrepreneur forming his own construction business, Island Man Construction. Through this business, he pursued property development, building, and renting apartments on Cayman Brac. In 2002, when the moratorium on retail liquor was removed, Mr. McKeever capitalized on the opportunity and developed Island Man Rum Shop. He continues to own and manage Island Man Rum Shop that he grew into a preeminent liquor store on Cayman Brac. Mr. McKeever is a commercial farmer who has helped promote the agricultural sector on Cayman Brac by demonstrating crop potential and marketability. The Agricultural Society has awarded his agricultural efforts. He has helped other farmers develop their potential. In addition to farming the land, Mr. McKeever is an experienced fisherman. Welcome, Mr. McKeever.
Welcome, sir. Thank you.
Well, at this time, we're going to take a short commercial break, and when we come back, we'll begin this evening's round of questioning. Please stay tuned.
Behind everything we do is a promise. Better. Better because we care, because we all have a common goal: to be better at cooking, to be better at eating right and taking care of ourselves, to live in a better community, to just feel better. Today and tomorrow and the next day. Do it for you. Do it for them. Do it to prove something to yourself. Do it to carry on a family recipe. Or just because. But when you aim for the stars, better just works. We're Fosters. And we're better. Because of you, because of them, because of this place. And because we care.
Welcome back to the Chamber of Commerce Candidates Forum for Cayman Brac East with Mr. Elvis McKeever. The first question in this evening's forum is, why run? Why have you decided to run in this year's election? And why should voters in Cayman Brac East place their trust and confidence in your abilities to represent them?
Well, I decided to run in this election because for a long time, we have been neglected on the Eastern District. And our representative, the Honorable Juliana, has neglected her people. I guess when you get in a position for too long, you get too comfortable, and you think, well, I've done this, I've done that, I've done this, but a lot of things that you didn't do, like promoting stuff for the Eastern District, or like rock climbing and all that. We could have get that done. Now somebody else come and do it. And the Eastern District need truthful representation. Somebody that dealing with the people. And right now, we need to free up. But my topic is about the marijuana, and we need another pillar of our economy, like gambling, casinos, because the whole world is doing this. And we need to change. We need to stop taxing our people for revenue. We can do something else besides taxing the people. Thank you, sir.
Okay, the next question we're going to deal with is a question dealing with national issues. And so I'll ask you, what 2 or 3 national issues would you seek to address if elected?
Well, one of them is insurance. The insurance companies have came here and handpicked the healthy people and left out the indigenous Caymanians that need, when you're old is when you need help, And we can't depend on any of you. That is a handout. We need to start another economy, like that we can get money to give these people the insurance. Our biggest problem is, look at health insurance and your house insurance. You mean to tell me you have to get health insurance, your house insurance, and the rates that we charge? It's unreal, unbelievable. We have to do something. These insurance companies, we have to tell them, you are insuring these people at a reasonable price, or you don't do business in the Cayman Islands. Plain and simple. You're not handpicking what you want. Those days are gone. We have to stop that. Seriously. Really. Thank you.
Okay, the next issue that we're going to talk about that will be addressed is constituency where you live. What project or program would you champion for the residents of Cayman Brac East if elected?
Well, I want a marina. My dream is to see a marina on the eastern side of Cayman Brac. There's a place out there we call Long Beach. The water out there is 15 feet out in front of it. There's no reef to be destroyed. We could dig in there, do a basin, and any size yacht could come up there, 50 to 60 feet easy, and leave a natural breakwater go up through there. It would be beautiful, and then stay occasionally go up the bluff. And hopefully, one of these days, we'll have a beautiful hotel there with casinos in it. You know, that is my thing. And the housing, we need to build some houses in the Eastern District to get people to move back to the Eastern District. The government has land up there. Let's use it. And if we build houses in the Eastern District, if government build no houses, but we need to have our people with that. All of the houses should come with solar panels to ease up on the electricity bill. We need to start going green, thinking green, and doing something like that in the Eastern District. So we can get, because the more houses we get out there, the business will come back to the Eastern District. I took a chance on the Eastern District with my business, and I'm doing good. I might be doing as good as done down in the West, you know, the mean hub of the island, but I'm surviving. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So then the next issue we'll raise for you is the issue of cost of living, and the question is, the cost of living topped the chamber survey as the most concern in this year's election. What strategies would you propose to lower the cost of living for all residents in Cayman, Brac, and Little Cayman?
Well, Mr. Ray, if you look, and I say this on the talk show for years now, you can get a Rolex duty free, fine leather duty free, crystal wine, glasses, all that duty free. But baby food is 22% on things to feed your children. Hey, something is wrong with that. You're taxing the food for your children, and the rich people that can buy the fancy goods, they don't have to be nothing. The taxes on our food product has to be completely overhauled. And another thing, the gas companies, everything moves by fuel. And the government needs to go to these people and say, listen, this is the price that you can sell here for. And off-rig, that needs to be completely rewrapped, dismantled, changed up. It has no backbone. You know, I listened to Mr. Pearson there with the people from the petroleum company talking about when we buy it here and when we do it. I don't want to hear that. I want to see how much you pay for it, and this is how much you sell me for. If you don't want to do that, there's always other places to go. But you ain't going nowhere because money's here. People that see money, they ain't going and leave it. Trust me on that, my friend. Thank you.
Well, thank you. So the next question we'll deal with is coalition. So many candidates in this year's election have identified themselves as independent. So if elected, would you be prepared to join a coalition or group or party? And which ministry or position in the new government would you want to fill based on your skills and qualifications?
The premier seat, that's the one I want to fill. No, I can tell you something. When it comes to joining any group of people, because I know if elected, I have to work with someone, some group, somewhere. But I can tell you now, and I telling all of them that's running, if I cross the line, and if I don't see things up front from my Cayman, like legalizing marijuana for people to grow it, legalizing casinos in lottery, so we can make money to send children on scholarships and all that, and mandatory training for Caymanian. If you not got that on your agenda, trust me, and if you hold meeting with me, and you not got them things, Are you afraid that the church people this or this? Listen, we come to lead this country. If you can lead, do the best for the people. You can't please this little group and that little group. No, Cayman have to come first with Elvis, Jeffery, McKeever. Is my people first? Or nobody at all? This is Cayman. This is Caymanian. Everybody can come here and live good. Why wrong with the Caymanian living good? Why we must be in line to beg food, to beg a light bill? No. Something that changed. That's been going on too long, and it's only getting worse in my eyesight. Thank you.
Well, thank you as well. At this time, we're going to take a short break so that to show some of our sponsors support messages. So just stay with us. We'll be right back with the next round of 5 questions.
At Bay Market, on your way to go there or do that, order and pick it up. Sun scorching, meeting, get it delivered. That way, you can spend more time doing this or that with him, her, they, and them. So whether you need your morning coffee, you're craving a red velvet donut, ramen, a lamb burger, or a falafel pita, order the food you love and skip the line. Pick it up or have it delivered. That's Bay Market Online.
You hear people talk about the economy all the time. But what is the economy exactly? The economy is the flow of money between the people, the companies, and the government in the Cayman Islands. Why is it important to understand the economy? Well, just like the engine of a car, the better we understand the economy, the better we can make it run, and the more prosperous we can become as a community. The first important thing to understand about the economy is that the private sector is the main source of all wealth. Think about it. Most people work for companies in the private sector, both big companies and small businesses. But even if you work for the government, your salary comes from the fees and duties paid to the government by private sector companies and their employees. That's why we call the private sector the prosperity engine that powers our economy and drives the country forward. When business is booming, companies have more money to spend on salaries, bonuses, and promotions. Employees with more money buy more products and services from other businesses. All those people and businesses spending money generates revenue for the government, which pays for important services like education, roads, emergency services, and care for the elderly. So when the private sector is doing well, everyone does well. But when the private sector isn't doing well, like during a recession, the money dries up and everyone suffers. So when you hear people ask, how do we make our country more prosperous? The answer is pretty simple. Grow the economy. After all, you can't get more money from a system that isn't making more money. That's not economics. That's just common sense. In this video series, we're going to take a closer look at our economy to see how we can fuel our prosperity engine and how to make sure everyone benefits. For now, thanks for watching, and remember to share this video with your family and friends so they can learn more about our economic prosperity engine.
Welcome back to the Chamber of Commerce Candidates Forum for Cayman Brac East. The next round of questions we're going to begin, and the first question deals with revitalizing the Cayman Brac East economy. So the question, Mr. McKeever, is, what are your ideas about revitalizing the economy of Cayman Brac and Little Cayman?
Well, the ganja industry, for sure, that could bring in hundreds of jobs. Yes, when I talk about marijuana, people just think, oh, smoking and drinking. Listen, this is one of the major growing industries in the world. Okay? Now we are importing marijuana extracts, and we can grow here year round. You'll have farmers having jobs. You'll have trimmers having jobs. You'll have people in the laboratory making the oil. You'll have people, well, the doctors will be employed. You'll have people in stores selling it. The tourists would love to come. We got tourists coming from all over the world where this thing is legal. And they got hide in their room, threaten if somebody got harass them on their vacation. And that is green. That is a green thing here. And like I said, a marina up on the east end, that would do wonders for us in the fishing tournament. Because a lot of those guys won't come here. But nobody won't come in a nice boat and hit the prop and ruin their vacation, their weekend day. And the casinos, I would say, they're giving commissions or concessions to stuff on 7 Mile Beach. Anybody that build a nice little 50-bedroom hotel on the bluff, or anyway, that's on the bluff on the eastern side, you get a casino license. That's my take on that. Thank you.
So the next question we're going to deal with is the issue of the school system and education in the Brac. So what are your views on the school system in Cayman Brac? Is it adequate, or what improvements would you recommend?
Well, the system on our 3 islands is inadequate. It's failing our children because we preach about getting the children to college, getting them jobs. Listen, our education system is only staring at the high achievers, right? The high achievers will make it. That's what we call them, high achievers, you know. The one that is falling behind, that not high achievers, in all of this construction work that's going on around here, we need plumbers, carpenters, sheetrock mason, painters, landscaper. Landscaping is not just chopping down trees, you know. It's an art, you beautify in place. We need to get our young people in there, mechanics, right? Engineers, electricians. But we are not teaching our people that. You know what we say? Oh, well, that one belongs this one. You can't teach them nothing because they're not going to manage, so you throw them on the wayside. So you know where they hit it? Down the road to northward. So they don't get a job. But the smoke a stick of ganja, can't get no job. Then the foreign police law come up. They got a record, so that's ruined. And they've done it to thousands of young people. And they continue to do it. All they talk about farming. Every school should have big old grow boxes from the daycare center to the graduation in high school. Everyone should be learning to grow something. Appreciate it when you plant a seed and you watch it grow. You are thinking about tomorrow, right? I planted trees that I thought, well, I might live to see them. I have to eat something off of it. But what? My grandchildren will. That's how I look at that. Thank you, sir.
Oh, thank you. So the next question, we're going to move into the subject of the tourism reopening. So what is your position on reopening the borders to stay-over tourists or visitors from abroad?
Well, we have to open sooner or later. We know that. But we have to be very, very careful. And we have to follow the science. You know? We have to follow the science that we know what's happening in different parts of the world, how it's being controlled in our main area where our tourists is coming from. You know, and I see things that I've been reading and stuff that, you know, you can get a test right on the airport or something for like rapid test, they call it, for like $200, you know? And stuff like that, we will have to watch which airlines, you know, go do that kind of stuff, that we can reopen safely, because I can say this now, the premier, he's done a beautiful job in taking care of people like that. And I take off my hat for that. But we have to open, but we have to be very careful. And all like the cruise ship, now I know you got a lot of people dependent on that, but that is the part of the cake right there. We have to be very careful with the cruise. But we can handle the stayovers because that's where the money is. Right now, we need to focus 95% on stayover. And all of the people that it was in the cruise, move them over to the stayover. Whoever's on permits that's there, hello, you have to go home. These Caymanians, we need jobs. And that is my take on that. We have to move with caution, but we have to open. It's a must. Thank you, sir.
Well, thank you. And now we're going to move on to a subject that you've kind of talked about already, but maybe you can elaborate on it. It's the decriminalization of marijuana. So Jamaica permits the use of cannabis for medicinal and religious purposes and decriminalized it in 2015. Rastafarians can possess cannabis in unlimited quantities without any restrictions in Jamaica. Would you support a similar action for the Cayman Islands?
No. I want full legalization when I was begging for that. I want full legalization to medicinal purposes, full legalization for recreational purposes for adults. Okay? The same drinking age, you're adult, that's when you can purchase recreational marijuana. And another thing that I want, and I will be pushing this whether I get in or not, and I hope that whoever has the guts to do this, when it is legalized fully, the board, the members of the board that grant the license shall be Caymanian with previous conviction for marijuana, whether they be Rastafarian, baldhead, or whatever, once they're a Caymanian. Because we're not making the big corporation like what they're doing in Jamaica now, you know. They're pushing the farmers out that were hiding in the hills. I was hiding up on the bluff, planting ganja, and people was enjoying it. I was enjoying it, right? I suffered for it. You know, it helped break up my farming thing. Because my wife was sick of me going to prison, and I was hidden for it again. So I want full legalization, and the small farmers like me, we know the big people are coming in, but we can be the one give them the license. If not a big corporation come in, take over after I fight so hard for years and years and been punished by society, punished by people. No. We can control the marijuana. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And so the next question is the 10th question, and then we're going to take a break after it. We talk about the environment. So what do you regard as the highest risk to the Cayman Brac and Little Cayman's natural environment? And what measures would you recommend to address this risk?
Well, we don't have overdevelopment, not yet. And we have a risk to our environment for people fishing from our shore, different nationalities, and they're taking our little small, they eat not the nurseries, they do the same thing, Cayman, you know, and they're depleting, they are depleting our natural resources. Because when the come season is open, it's a free for all. The lobster season, the free for all. The wet season, you know, these things have to be for Caymanian. I am sorry. Welcome to my island. When you're one of the tourists, you can't fish unless you're going to charter. Right? You pay a Caymanian, take you out. Welcome to my island on your work permit. Enjoy yourself. Make all the money you want. If you want fish, you have to buy it from a local. You want cum, lobster, you have to buy it. from the local, you cannot take it. That is working on our natural resources and our environment. That's part of the environment, a big part, because, you know, we grew up, then we could go down to the bed, catch a little mango, a jack and thing, and that can soon be done, because what's happening, when other people eat it out, they're not stopping them. It look like everybody's afraid of them. You know who they can stop? The poor Cayman, and they got pressure the laws that he can't get nothing because they're too afraid to look at the tourist or the work permit holder and say, sorry, you can't do it anymore. Sorry. But our politicians, spineless. They're spineless, I don't know, spineless. Thank you, sir.
Well, thank you very much. We've gone through the first 10 questions. At this time, we're going to take a short commercial break. And when we return, we'll have the next round of 5 questions for Mr. Elvis McKeever. Please stay tuned.
Feed the family for less with Foster's Pick 5.
Choose from a range of meats including chicken thighs, pork chops, ground meats, beef stir-fry, sirloin steaks, and more, and only pay $19.99 for any 5-packs.
The meat is always fresh and never previously frozen. It's the perfect way to stock up for the week. That's dinner sorted.
Look out for Pick 5 in the meat department at all Foster's supermarket locations.
Foster's, better value because we care.
Here in the Cayman Islands, the private sector is the prosperity engine that drives the country forward. Just like a real engine. The better we understand how it works, the better we can make it run, and the better off we'll be. To help illustrate how our economy works, let's take a step back in time to when there were only a few thousand people living in Cayman. In those days, most people survived by fishing or farming for food. It was a simple, wholesome life, but it was a lot of hard work. Most people bought what they needed from their neighbors. As people bought and sold things, their individual wealth went up or down, but the overall wealth of the country stayed the same. In a simple economy like this, the only way one person could increase their wealth was by reducing someone else's. In order to increase the overall wealth of the country, one of our Caymanian ancestors would have to sell something, a product or service, to someone somewhere else, and bring that money back home. In other words, we would have to export something. In those days, our biggest export was labor. Men worked overseas or on the seas and brought the money home, thereby increasing the total wealth of the country. Although the economy is much bigger and more complex today, these same principles still apply. Every time a company in Cayman sells a product or service to a customer overseas, the overall wealth of the country increases. Once it's here, it flows around the local economy between the government, the people, and the companies, and becomes a part of our society's wealth. The 2 biggest sources of income for our economy today are financial services and tourism, often called the pillars of our economy. Tourists come here and spend their money. So all of the tourism companies like hotels, restaurants, buses, Stingray City Tours that make sure our visitors have a great time are helping to increase the wealth of our country. Just like tourists, clients of financial services firms come here and spend money too. So all of our financial service companies like insurance companies, fund administrators, lawyers, and accountants that facilitate investment transactions for people and companies around the world bring money into the economy and increase the overall wealth. The point is, if we want to increase the prosperity of our country, the best way to do that, in fact, the only way to do that, is to grow the private sector. In particular, the companies at the front lines that bring the wealth here from overseas in the first place. In the next video, we'll talk a little about how money moves around the economy. For now, thanks for watching, and remember to share this video with your family and friends so they can learn more about our economic prosperity engine. In the last episode, we learned about the important role of companies here in Cayman that do business with overseas customers and generate new wealth for the Cayman Islands economy. But what about all the other companies in the Cayman Islands? How do they fit into our prosperity engine? Every business in the Cayman Islands falls into one of three groups, or tiers. Each tier plays a critical role in our economy. The first tier is made up of all the companies that do business with overseas customers and bring money into our economy. Companies in this tier are like the gas tank of our economic prosperity engine. The more we have in the tank, the farther we can go. Although most well-known companies in this tier are in financial services like Butterfield Bank, or tourism like the Ritz-Carlton, there are many other well-known Tier 1 companies doing business with overseas customers, like Uniregistry, Health City, and all of the companies in Cayman Enterprise City. The second tier of the economy is all the companies that do business with other local companies, like IT and marketing consultants, or companies that sell supplies to bars and restaurants. These companies are also very important because without them, the companies they supply would need to buy their goods and services from overseas. So while companies in Tier 1 bring money into our economy, companies in Tier 2 help keep it here. The third tier is made up of all the companies that provide services to people that live and work in the Cayman Islands. Companies in this tier include supermarkets, dry cleaners, mechanics, gyms, doctors, dentists, architects, house builders, florists, and gardeners. These companies are important sources of employment and business opportunities for our people. And they play a really important role because without them, Cayman wouldn't be a very nice place to live. So to recap, Tier 1 companies do business with customers overseas. Tier 2 companies do business with other companies in Cayman. And Tier 3 companies do business with those who live here. Every company and self-employed contractor in the Cayman Islands falls into one of these three tiers, and they all play an important role in making our nation prosperous, helping bring money into our country, improve our economy, and creating jobs. And without them, the Cayman Islands wouldn't be the great country that it is. Thanks for watching, and remember to share this on social media so we can all help fuel the economic prosperity engine.
Welcome back to the Chamber of Commerce Candidates Forums for Cayman Brac East. We're here with Mr. Elvis McKeever, one of the candidates for that constituency. Gone through the first 10 questions. We're now going on to the next round of 5 questions. We'll begin with health insurance. So health insurance premiums continue to increase annually for many businesses, and especially for persons who reach retirement age. What improvements, if any, would you propose to make health insurance more affordable for businesses and retirees?
Well, like I said before, that we have to stop these insurance companies in here from handpicking. This cynical business was started because our members of parliament or MLAs years ago sat back, had a lobster tail to the insurance people and said, listen, this is what you do. Farm cynical for the poor Caymanian. We want the rich help the people. And that's how we go. No, these people have to insure everybody, whether we form a national insurance or whatever we have to do. But insurance has to be low in this island. These islands, and it comes back to telling these people, listen, this is the situation. You're making tons of money. And the people of Cayman Island is being treated unfair. Look, I got paid $200 a month because I got pressure, right? That don't cover my glasses, my dental. For me to get my teeth fixed now, and I need it. That's over $5,000. I can't afford it. You know, we got to do something with the insurance companies. We got to put them in the business. Listen, you want to operate in the Cayman Island? This is how you will operate. All right? There's the plane. There's a lot of people that come here that would love to open business here. You see? But we are just letting them and pick that they ever come here. Oh, you don't have enough Cayman. Don't worry about them. The government take care of them. Make them beg from the government. No. Come on, let's stand up to these people and say, listen, this is how we go. You do this, or you don't operate here. Plain and simple. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Next, we'll move on to affordable housing. So the Cayman Islands has one of the highest GDPs per capita, but the Caymanian dream of purchasing and building a home seems to be slipping away. So what strategies would you support or propose to ensure that there's affordable housing for residents?
Well, sir, we have the tourist industry. And the reason that the Caymanians are kept out of that and there's money there because the wages says $4.50 US an hour and the tip says you're making $15 to $20 an hour. And the banks do not recognize that. So that is what is stopping the Caymanians from being eligible to get a house. And that is this is designed. It's not a mistake, you know. This is designed to keep Caymanians out of the tourist industry. They don't want the black Caymanian dealing with the white rich tourists. They figure they might get a little partner job with them, they can help themselves up in the world. That's what it is. Well, I'm not elected yet, but the elected members are supposed to go to the bank and say, listen, this is what this person making, and you average it out. Don't tell me, well, you can't do it because this year you might get it. No, you do an average per month, per year. I know bartenders, friends of mine from Europe, America, Canada. They make $100,000 a year trip. The Caymanian can do that too. But they are not given a chance because how these people can come and live in condos and the Caymanian living in shops. That's how they could get homes for them where the money is in the tourist industry. And another thing I know for sure, where they could get the home is planting marijuana and selling that legally. Yeah. That's my take on that one.
Thank you. We'll move now on to the subject of the cruise industry. So what are your views on the future of the cruise industry in the Cayman Islands? And would you support allowing cruise ships to visit the sister islands?
Cruise ship in the sister island is a joke. Straight up joke. Cayman Brac and the Cayman be setting into the prevailing wind. Right? Very rare that you have that a cruise ship can come here and let our passengers. Georgetown has a big lead, 5 miles. So if it's blowing 25 miles an hour from the east, southeast, northeast, or east, Georgetown is calm. Cayman Brac is into the wind, it's rough on all two sides. That's a myth. And it's not feasible to adopt. For cruise, I mean, you know, I tell people, never call Georgetown, go cruise. Georgetown, the Cayman is designed the way it is by nature, and Cayman by the way it is. We're not designed for cruise here. But we are designed to stay yours. We got beautiful diving, we got beautiful nature trails, hiking, rock climbing, which ain't going nowhere. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. But about the cruise, my friend, my Caymanians, my Cayman brother, be real. Ask all the sailors that we got here. How much time the cruise ship come in that they just got sail on by? And you know the companies don't say the same. They don't make any sense. Sometimes you get a little cruise here with 50, 60 people, and then they will spend no money. They've been on that ship for all around Cuba, all around in places. They don't spend any money. That's how I've seen it. And I've been down there when the cruise ship come. So that ain't no good for the Cayman Brac. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna be viable, feasible, whatever. Thank you, sir.
Well, thank you. Then we deal with the Next subject was the civil partnerships. So what are your views on the recently enacted Civil Partnership Act?
Well, the world, I was talking about the world not changing, you know. The world had criminals from the beginning. Adam and Eve had a criminal, and there's been there from creation. They write about it in the Bible. I never hear God saying anything about it now. But man wrote the Bible. So those people, they have their right. And you know the sad part about it, I never heard no gay person robbing nobody. They working, they building their houses, they driving the car, they spending money, they minding their own business. But everybody run them down. But I would rather see gays married. I don't want them out in public kissing and things like that. Because I don't want nobody doing that. We better be careful now. But I tell you one thing, they're not as much hurt to our society is that what this fathers, they call themselves baby father, and they have 3 baby mothers, they can, that the government feeding your children, making your children big. And only the one that's running down the gas on a sick steam on it. Them gas not sick enough. It's on the children and stop worrying about the gas. The gas not doing anything. On the children getting in trouble, stealing kind of won't help them. That's what I got to worry about. Thank you, sir.
Okay, the next subject we'll move in is the idea of population growth and its impact on the Cayman Islands. So we keep hearing about increasing the population to 100,000 people and even further development. So what measures would you recommend so that Caymanians benefit from a growing economy?
Well, like I said before, the immigration law has been watered down to protect the business interests. You can tell me that you can get a business and you say that you may train Caymanian? No. That word has to real shall, must, will, whatever beside may. Yeah? And if you don't train Caymanian, if you don't want to train Caymanian, you don't want Caymanian to work with you, go somewhere else. Although the plane is locked, the island is locked down, but you can find your way home or find your way somewhere else. The immigration law needs to be changed. That you shall hire Caymanian, and anybody that is found hiring illegal workers, and that's what the problem with us, illegal workers, that your license be suspended for 6 months. I don't care, you could own the biggest construction company in the Cayman Islands, or you only got 4 people hired, be shutting you down for 6 months. Then you're going to realize, you know something, I'm in Cayman making money and living good. I really got to do better by the Caymanian people, you know. And you see, one of the reasons, but it got to come out. You know why they don't want the payroll tax? You know why they don't want that? Because you can't put on the form that you're paying $10 an hour, and in reality you're paying 8 or 6, or you're not paying nothing at all. Every month your payroll thing has to go in there. That you can't steal the people that work hard for their money. That's what we need, sir. That things like that. Thank you.
Okay, we've gone through 15 questions so far. We have one more round of questions. One more round of questions before we ask for your closing remarks. So please stay tuned. We're going to take a short commercial break. We'll be right back after these messages.
March in Cayman is hot, but at Foster's, it's frozen.
Frozen Food Month is back, and we're giving away 4 $250 Foster's cards. To enter, just purchase any 3 products from the frozen department from now until March 27th. It's that easy.
You could grab a frozen pizza for dinner, frozen berries for a morning smoothie, and frozen plant-based sausages for something different.
Exactly. Just don't forget to enter online at fosters.ky/frozen food month. Foster's, better because we care.
When companies do well, everyone does well. Not just the business owners, but the employees, other businesses, the government, and even the customers. Seriously. To learn how, let's look at how money flows through a company. When a company sells its goods and services, they receive money, which is called revenue. That money is then split up and used in a number of different ways. Some of the money goes to employees. To keep it simple, we'll call this salaries. Some of the money goes to pay for products and services the company needs to keep running. Those expenses are called overheads. Some of the revenue goes to the government in duties and fees. And finally, any money left over goes to the owners of the business as profit. So no matter what products or services a company provides, it's like a machine that takes in money as revenue and spits money out as salaries, overheads, government fees, and profits. It's really that simple. Every dollar that a company takes in gets turned into one of those 4 things. Okay, so how does it benefit everyone when companies do well? Let's take a closer look. First, with salaries. Salaries are important for the economy because most people get most of their income from their employment. Next, government fees. In the Cayman Islands, the vast majority of the government's revenue comes from duties and fees paid by businesses. That money goes to pay for important government services like education, emergency services, healthcare, and infrastructure. Then we have overheads. Quite simply, one company's overhead is just another company's revenue. When a hotel needs supplies, they buy them from local suppliers. Those suppliers turn that revenue into salaries, overheads, duties and fees, and if they're lucky, profit. Some people think that business owners make too much money, but the truth is, the average company only makes 7.5 cents in profit for every dollar in sales. And that's assuming they make a profit at all. The other 92.5 cents goes to pay for salaries for staff, overheads that become revenue of other companies, and duties and fees that pay for the government services we need. In order to become successful, most business owners have to work extremely hard and take a lot of risks. If it wasn't for the ability to make a profit, the owner wouldn't have started the business in the first place. And if nobody started any businesses, there would be no jobs for employees, which means no salaries, no overheads to support other businesses, and no money from government fees to pay for our government services. So yeah, when companies do well, everyone does well. In the next video, we'll take a closer look at why countries need economic growth. For now, thanks for watching. And remember to share this video with your family and friends so they can learn more about our economic prosperity engine. Most people want the same basic things in life. They want to be safe, healthy, happy. They want a good job. In a word, people want prosperity. So how can we create more prosperity for Caymanians? Another way to say prosperity is standard of living. There are 3 basic ways to improve the standard of living. First, the government can spend more money on services like healthcare, education, or infrastructure. That would make life better for Caymanians. But it would also cost more money, which means more government fees. So it might bring a better standard of living, but it would also increase the cost of living. The second way to improve living standards would be to reduce the cost of living. A lower cost of living means people have more money to spend on other things. But in a modern economy, for the most part, the cost of living isn't something that the government can directly control. The third way to improve living standards would be to increase salaries. Raising salaries has the same effect as reducing the cost of living because it gives people more money to spend. If only there was some way we could increase salaries, increase government revenue, and decrease the cost of living all at the same time? There is. It's called economic growth. In the last video, we saw how companies turn revenue into 4 economic outputs, including duties and fees and salaries. So in order to improve government services without increasing anyone's government fees, and at the same time increasing salaries, companies need to make more revenue so they can afford to pay more money in salaries and duties and fees. And that's what economic growth is. Companies making more revenue and turning it into more money in salaries, overheads, government fees, and profits. But wait, what about the cost of living? Is there a way economic growth can reduce the cost of living? Yes. Have you ever wondered why most things cost so much less in the United States? That's because companies there sell a much greater quantity and can therefore afford to make less on each individual sale. Economists call this economies of scale. The fact that a growing economy raises living standards and creates prosperity is one of the few things that all economists agree on. It's what people mean when they say, a rising tide lifts all boats. In the next episode, we'll start looking at how we can help the economy grow. For now, thanks for watching. And remember to share this video with your family and friends so that they can learn more about our economic prosperity engine.
Welcome back to the Chamber of Commerce Candidates Forum for Cayman Brac East. We're here this evening with Mr. Elvis McKeever, one of the candidates for Cayman Brac East. Now reached the stage in the forum where we've the final round of questions. And so we'll start this round with a question about financial services. So given that financial services is critical to the island's economy, if elected, how would you respond to the FATF gray listing and the European Union's intention to blacklist us, even though we have met most of their requirements?
Well, it's like this, sir. I've been keep on hearing about this black list, white list, and gray list. We will never come off the black list or the gray list or get on the white list, because we have an industry that the people that is working against us to put us on this black list, they want to sink our industry, plain and simple. So every time you beat something, they move the goalpost. Now, I'm not a lawyer, I don't know, but we need some serious people with God, balls, education, or something. Say, look here, we are meeting all of the demand, and we ain't going any further. I mean, it has to be stopped somewhere, because the people that are pressuring us, they're not well regulated like us. So they are pressuring us to open up this and do that, but they're not doing it. So what they're trying to do is just let us keep going and oh, you're on the black list, you gotta get on the gray list, you gotta get on the white list, until there's nothing at all there. I mean, that's how I see it. Cayman, that every time they come up with something else, and we do it. Then, oh, you're not doing it this way, I'm not doing it. I don't know, sorry, really, I want to go, but like I said, the goalpost keeps slipping, and we have to find some way to stop that. You know, and that's the best I can answer that one, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we'll turn now to one of the topics I think you may have even addressed earlier, but the subject is a national lottery. The introduction of a national lottery has been discussed for many years as a way of funding education and infrastructure. So what's your view on introducing a national lottery?
Yeah, but I'm for the national lottery all the way, because I know this for a fact. Every plane that goes to Miami, somebody is sending money to buy the Florida lottery. It's been happening from the mail days. They used to post. I know people from Cayman Brac used to post post the thing to Miami, wherever, the Malta lots and all that. Money's going on the island. Why make the money stay here? The taxes off of it, funding education, dealing with infrastructure, and help with insurance for the elderly. I mean, that's a simple thing, and I don't understand why none of the politicians that been there, what are they afraid of? The churches does raffle. It's gambling in the name of God. The Rotary Club does it. It's gambling in the name of charity. I mean, it's here. It's here. What you got people that is selling numbers in Cayman making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year illegally. All money for them. Do you think that they would think it hard to pay a fee? Huh? No, they wouldn't think it hard. They can still make their money. Right? And it's going to be legal. The government will be getting something back. Oh, well, let's say you lose your money on it and you have to go to NIU or your child needs some love, at least you get that out. Yeah, it's time for us to open up our mind. Like this lottery thing is some big old account. What are we scared of? What are we scared of? It's lottery. Plain and simple. Thank you, sir.
Okay, we'll move on to the Constitution and talk about reform. So would you support a constitutional provision that allows for electors of a constituency to recall their elected member of parliament? Why or why not?
Well, that's wait a minute. I don't know how you would really do that. A by-election, you mean like call like a by-election? Well, I don't think the people should, well, they have the right to vote again, but it would have to be the members of parliament that your people go to and say, listen, this guy is doing wrong. We need to get him out of there. We want your support in parliament. You know, you love him, all the district. And if they see so fit that he needs to come out, then they do it. And if they don't do it, then the next election, you love it, their constituency to vote them out. That's just like this election now. It was called early for one reason. Because none of the members wanted to vote against Big Mac. None of them. That's what this election is all, you know. Plain and simple. The people of West, they couldn't call that up, you know. But the people that we elected could say, Mr. Bush, you have to step down from the Speaker House. We can't move you, but you have to step down. But instead of doing that, they took the coward way out. That's called election. Oh, Lord, we elected some cowards in this country, boy. I don't know how that might take on that one.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Next one is to deal with the youth. And it's what do you regard as the top two issues facing our youth of today? And how do you intend to address these concerns if you're elected?
Well, one of the biggest things that facing our youth is police record for simple marijuana. Now, we live in a marijuana culture. I remember when Bob Marley wanted to come here and play. They said, no, Rasta man can't come in here. You smoke weed. We don't want our children into that. When you walk on, I know the Rasta, but they got to hear, right? And because of that, we won't give them a job. We are failing the children because we throw the children away, you know. Listen, I'm going to tell you what I know. I grew up in this thing, you know. Oh, you see, Elvis there? And he not bad, he's smart, he's a pretty good little captain, but oh, he like that ganja boy. And you hang out with them boy. Then you hear him, oh, those one smoke weed, no, don't give him no job. Oh, no, it's fuck guy, don't give him no job. And we throw in our way. Remember I tell you about the high achievers? They can make it. But the ones that we throw away is the ones that need help. We need to help those that are falling through the cracks, through simplicity, through ignorance, because you family to this one, or you belong to this one, or don't help them. So what are you going to do with them? You going to jail them forever? You going to keep them locked out of society? You going to build gated communities? That's what you're going to do with them? Listen, they ain't going nowhere, you know. I told somebody this, stick it out. When I came out of prison, they opened the key and let me out of jail, you know. The foreign prisoner, when he got out, he going to jail, couldn't go away. When they let me out, Elvis met back Georgetown to be the same hooligan, back to the bone. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And then the final question for this evening deals with the marine environment. And several local species of fish that we love to eat are on their way to extinction from overfishing. So will you support increasing the funding for the Department of Environment to enhance marine parks enforcement to restore this precious aspect of our tourism attraction, our food reserve, and our new sand production?
Yes. Like I say, I believe in preserving. One, I just told you, stop tourists and work permit holders from taking on marine life. And all boats in the Cayman Island should pay a registration fee. Okay? You got your little 18-foot boat, 12-foot boat, you pay $25 a year. You got a number. If you go missing, it's for your own good. You know the Marine, the Coast Guard, no will okay. Elvis went out in his boat, his tag number, blah, 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 radio card. And you're there. In all of these big, beautiful boats that we have down here, they're not owned by Cayman. You got owned by Cayman. You pay a fee. If the small man pay $50 a year, $25 a year, you keep stepping it up. If you got $2-3 million boat, you can license it to Cayman Island for $1,000 a year. Hello. You got a nice place up there. They to run from the hurricane up in the North Sound. I am sure that the people that have those type of boats, they wouldn't mind paying that. I am sure that, and that would go toward funding the enforcement for the Marine. And another thing, if we legalize marijuana, all the damn money that the Coast Guard is burning up, chasing canoes from Jamaica, that can go toward policing our marine park. Am I right or wrong? That's how I look at that. We're wasting money that we don't have to take the load of the police and put the effort somewhere else to protect our natural resources. That's what we need to do with that, sir. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, Mr. McKeever. We've gone through 20 questions. You've done a great job in getting through all these questions. And so right now, what we're going to do is going to take a short commercial break. And when we return, we're going to have some closing remarks from Mr. Elvis McKeever. Please stay tuned.
Behind everything we do is a promise. Better. Better because we care, because we all have a common goal, to be better at cooking, to be better at eating right, and taking care of ourselves, to live in a better community, to just feel better. Today and tomorrow and the next day. Do it for you. Do it for them. Do it to prove something to yourself. Do it to carry on a family recipe. Or just because. But when you aim for the stars, better just works. We're Fosters. And we're better. Because of you, because of them, because of this place. and because we care.
March in Cayman is hot, but at Foster's, it's frozen.
Frozen Food Month is back, and we're giving away 4 $250 Foster's cards. To enter, just purchase any 3 products from the frozen department from now until March 27th. It's that easy.
You could grab a frozen pizza for dinner, frozen berries for a morning smoothie, and frozen plant-based sausages for something different.
Exactly. Just don't forget to enter online at fosters.ky/Frozen Food Month. Foster's, better because we care.
At Bay Market Cafe, we know life can get in the way of good food, so we're here to offer a hand. Online ordering is back, and this time, it's better than ever. If you overslept and are running out of time, order online and pick it up. Raining? Get it delivered. On your way to go there or do that, order and pick it up. Sun scorching? Meeting? Get it delivered. That way, you can spend more time doing this or that with him, her, they, and them. So whether you need your morning coffee, you're craving a red velvet donut, ramen, a lamb burger, or a falafel pita, order the food you love and skip the line. Pick it up or have it delivered. That's Bay Market Online.
So we've already talked about what economic growth means and why it's so important. But how do we achieve economic growth? Well, remember the 3 tiers of the Cayman Islands economy? In a way, each tier is like a separate economy in its own right. They each have different growth drivers and different obstacles to growth. So let's look at each tier and see how we can help them grow. Let's start with Tier 3. Remember, Tier 3 is made up of all the companies that sell products and services to the residents of the Cayman Islands, like Foster's, Kirk's, Hurley's, Scott's Marine, A.L. Thompson's, Cox Lumber, Champion House, Al Kebab, and so on. So how can we help these companies grow? Let's look at a great example of a Tier 3 company, a hairdressing salon. To increase revenue, the hair salon could spend more money on marketing and win customers that way. More customers means more revenue, right? Right. However, that's not economic growth. Because although more customers would mean more revenue, that's only because another salon's revenue went down. If you could look at the hairdressing sector as a whole, the overall revenue or demand stayed exactly the same. Even if an entrepreneur came along and opened a new salon, that wouldn't be economic growth either. Because, again, demand for hairdressing hasn't changed. That doesn't mean having more salons is a bad thing, but it's not economic growth. So the question is really, what would have to happen to increase demand for hairdressing? Well, 2 things. First, disposable incomes could go up. Disposable income is what people have left over after they've paid for important things like housing and food. When disposable income goes up, people have more money to spend on things like hairdressing. When disposable income goes down, like during a recession, people look for ways to cut back on spending, so they visit hair salons less often. And what could cause disposable income to increase? You guessed it, economic growth. The second way to increase demand would be to increase the population. More people means more customers buying more products and services from Tier 3 businesses like hairdressers. So in that way, population growth actually helps our Tier 3 businesses. Now, not everyone agrees that population growth is a good thing. And that's fine, but because population growth is both a cause and result of economic growth, trying to grow the economy without growing the population is like standing in a bucket and trying to lift yourself up by the handle. It's not going to get you anywhere. In the next video, we'll look at how Tier 2 companies fit into the economy and how to help them grow. For now, thanks for watching. And remember to share this video with your family and friends so they can learn more about our economic prosperity engine.
Welcome back to the Chamber of Commerce Candidates Forum for Cayman Brac East. We have concluded the questions for this evening, and now I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Elvis McKeever for some closing remarks. Mr. McKeever?
Yeah, well, first of all, I would like to thank the Chamber and all its members for giving me this opportunity, to answer the question that I feel. I hope I done pretty good at the best I could do. And I'm looking forward to representing the people of the Cayman Island, Cayman Brac East. You know, I thought about it for a long time because it's something, you know, a lot of people look at me and say, oh, Elvis, you joking, you know. And it wasn't an easy decision because I know it's not an easy road in front of me. But I think when I put my mind to do something, I can get it done. I have faith in myself. You know, a lot of people gave up on me, but I never gave up on myself. Never. I have never gave up on myself. And I don't give up on people. I always look for the good in people. And right now, I am looking for the good in the people of Cayman Brac East. I want your support. I need your support. And I promise, I will be a good representative. I will represent you with honesty. Definitely. In everything. At the best of my ability. You know? And I am having my meeting, my opening meeting, a spot there, Saturday evening at 7 to 7:30. And I want all the island, all over the island, come out and listen to my meeting, listen to what I have to say. Those of you that didn't, you know, tune in, I guess they might have it recorded too, I'm not sure. But I'm asking all of the people from East, please support me. I need your support. I need your vote. And I can guarantee you, if I get your vote and I cross the finish line, Elvis, Jeffery, McKeever will not let you down. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mr. Elvis McKeever. And so on behalf of the Chamber Council and staff, I certainly want to thank you, Mr. McKeever, for participating in this evening's forum. So I trust that the forum will help to inform voters when they go to the polls on the 14th of April. I'd also like to thank Foster's for their major sponsorship of the Chamber's candidates forums, as well as Affinity Recruitment, Boden's Legal and Corporate, and DART. If you're interested in viewing more of those Growth Matters videos series that have been playing during the commercial breaks, you can access them through growthmatters.ky. So please join me tomorrow evening as we welcome Maxine McCoy-Moore from the constituency of Cayman Brac West and Little Cayman. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you join us tomorrow evening at the same time. Good night.
Good day, Cayman. I'm Kenneth Bryan, incumbent MP and candidate in the 2021 election. I would like to invite you to my campaign launch meeting on Saturday, the 20th of March at the Kirk Home Center parking lot, 256 Eastern Avenue. Come and hear my plans for Cayman and how I intend to address the issues that we face. There will be special guest speakers and surprise endorsements. Refreshments will be served, and Cayman's talented Quincy Brown will be the host for the night. The launch starts at 7 p.m. sharp, so make sure to mark the time and date on your calendars. This meeting is for everyone because I stand for all Caymanians, regardless of where you vote. And remember to wear yellow to show your support. My committee and I are excited to prove to you why I am the best choice on election day. I look forward to seeing you, and make sure you bring a friend. And remember, together, we still can make Cayman better.